Just passing through Sheffield, I've seen there's a couple of retro video game shops here, so we're going to go to one of two of them now. It's called Super Retro Video Games. We're going to pop in there now. If they give permission to film, then I'll do a bit of a shop tour as well. But the purpose of this journey is just to see what Sega Game Gear games they've got. If there's any I want that I can add to the collection. So if I get permission to film, then it'll just be a normal UK Sega Game Gear episode, but it could be a shop tour. Who knows? Let's go and find out.
And there it is, Super Retro Video Games. We're here. Let's pop inside and see what we can find. Sega Game Gear loose cartridges, more than I was expecting to find. There's literally, I don't know, is there 50 loose games there? I was absolutely over the moon to see that much. We're going to come back to these at the end of the video, but it was the first thing I wanted to film, so obviously that was what I was here for. So we're going to have a quick browse around, see what the store's got to offer. There's stuff from floor to ceiling. There's consoles everywhere. Everything is placed really well and neat, as I'm sure you guys would agree. The shop's quite small, but he's laid it out to get the most maximum room and potential out of the size that he's got. Everything's very nice and neat. There's no clutter. There's some nice glass display shelves right in the centre of the room, which has got all those nice collectibles and toys if you're in that sort of thing. There was some pop figures on that first wall. I don't know if you guys saw, just sort of panning the camera around so everyone can see just exactly how much box consoles and treasures there are high up, because if you're short, you probably haven't seen them. Some real nice stuff. A lot of Xbox 360 and that sort of, the late retro, if you know what I mean, the more modern side of the retro. It's really awesome to see. I'm not massively into collectible toys and stuff, unless it's like an old wrestling figure, but Biker Mice from Mars, I had those as a kid, so that was really cool. So I don't see that in all the shops. So much Sega Mega Drive. If you're collecting your Mega Drive, this is a good store to go to, because a lot of the games, there was like doubles and triples, so if there's a game you want, they might have it, and you can actually look at what condition you want, check it's got a manual, check you're happy with the cover art that's in there. But yeah, I mean, look at all that. Loose NES cartridges, nice and neatly and stacked, so you don't need to collect boxed. But the box games are there for you to have a look at. It's got Mega CD, loads of Dreamcast, which is great to see. Obviously, there was that Silent Hill game a minute ago, and Manhunt, some of those collectible, desirable PS2 games. Sorry, Silent Hill 3, a lovely silver PS2. I've actually got a silver PS2 myself. There's Silent Hill, the original black label PS1, if anyone's looking for that. Luckily, I got mine before the price went a bit silly. Otherwise, it probably would have cost me 30, 40 quid more if I brought it 3 months later. Yeah, loads of games. That's not the only PS1 games. I'm assuming that's more of the... There we go. I'm assuming that's more of the expensive ones. So everything's in alphabetical order. I couldn't obviously scan every shelf of 360. I had to sort of choose what consoles. Obviously, more of the retro I wanted to get capture on camera. You know, some of the 360s and PS3s and PS2s, I don't normally go to town on that. But anything older than that, I want to sort of show everyone exactly what's there. Also, there's always too many games to film. You know, 360 and PS2, there's thousands of games in these shops, isn't there? Let's be honest. But yeah, a real nice, healthy collection of PS1 games. Hopefully you guys can see any games there, if there's any you're looking for in particular. If anyone is collecting Platinum games, I know a lot of people are now. Shout out to Dan the Games Man. Then obviously there was a nice little selection there. If anyone is looking for those. Again, nice little Master System converter there for the Mega Drive. Sega CD, loads of Game Boy Advance, loads of Game Boy loose carts. So Retro Ed UK, if you're watching this, you might want to check them out. I don't think they sell online though. I did ask the gentleman. I'll put a link in the description to his website so you can check it out. Obviously, I've showed the address earlier, and I'll put the address up later on when we go back to the games room and look at all the pickups. But yeah, look at this. There's even a TV up there. Look at it just panning around. It's a decent sized shop. That's Yona, really, really nice guy, absolute gentleman. I brought a game for him from the store before, which I'll see in a minute, some picking the pickups. Obviously, I've made some purchase from the store before I did the filming. I asked if I could film, and he was like, yeah, you know, it's proper casual. It's like, yeah, mate, do what you got to do, no worries. So, yeah, really nice guy. This was filmed on a Sunday. There was a couple of customers come in. I just made sure I didn't get in anyone's way. There is some box Game Gear in there. Obviously, I'm doing loose cart only. I'll say at the moment, so that could change. And there we go. There was a few games. Power Ranger we picked up recently. Dracula I'm interested in because that is, whether it's a good game or not, it's questionable. I've seen footage of it, but it is out of stock at CEX. So that is quite a pricey game. There is a very, very, pricey game, I would say. And a very good game for the Game Gear, which isn't in there because I've picked that up. Spoiler alert, you'll see that in a moment. It's lovely to see Switch. I'm seeing a lot of Switch now in gaming shops because, like, let's be honest, there's so many good retro-inspired and indie games on the system. All retro fans seem to love the Switch, but it's really hard to read it. The text on the back of the Switch cases, it's so small and uniform, it's hard to see really what's there. But let me know, guys, is there anything in this shop that you've like, oh my god, if I was there I wish I grabbed it, or you should have looked at that? Obviously I'm literally predominantly just looking at Sega Game Gear, but I wanted to do a nice shop tour while I was here, why they'd let me film, just because I don't know if I'm going to be back. Obviously I'm from Essex, this is up in Sheffield, it's a bit of a journey. Obviously I was up north for a few days, so it made sense just swinging by from the M1. Loads of Game Boy. Edge, you've got to check it out, mate. Loads of Game Boy there. Yeah, absolutely. I could have filmed for a lot longer, but I wanted just to swiftly capture in as much detail as we could in under, 6 minutes. So when we go through the pickups, everything can be up to a 10-minute video. So let's go back to the games room.
Welcome back to the games room. What a fantastic shop tour that was. It was the close of a great tour for me and road trip really up north. It was my birthday weekend, me and the missus, we went up to Barnsley. We was going to go to Retro Dome. I discovered Retro Dome before when I went to Doncaster a couple of years ago to meet Goldtooth and go to Doorway to Dorkness. So on the way to Retro Dome, we swung in Doorway to Dorkness and Doncaster, went up Retro Dome, we went up that way into Barnsley. Then from there, we went up to Leeds, went to Arcade Club. Then on the way back, we stopped down in Sheffield. Then we come back round to, I want to say Dinnington. That's on an episode coming next after this one, to a gaming shop, which again is sort of between Sheffield, Rotherham and Doncaster, that sort of way. So yeah, that sort of whole area of the Midlands, absolutely epic place for gaming shops. And this is a place, this shop you've just seen this tour, we're going to get to the pickups in a second. This is a shop that I've only seen from other YouTubers and social media. And myself personally, I'm not on any social media other than Strava, a fitness app, if anyone knows what that is. And other than YouTube, I'm not on TikTok, I'm not on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter or any of that stuff anymore since last year. I just can't be bothered with it. I end up just scrolling through forever. But I do remember on some people's pages seeing this shop. I recognise the front of it. So whenever I go somewhere new, I type in retro gaming shops, I have a little look through. Normally a CX comes up, you might get lucky and find a game shop. Now I found this shop and I was like, I've seen that, that's a good store. I messaged my mate Goldtooth who lives that way and he was like, yeah, that's a good store, check it out. So swung round there and I wasn't disappointed. The front, as you can see from the front of the shop, absolutely amazing. I walked in, it's quite a modest size, not a small shop by any means. I've seen bigger, giggity, but so is she. But the actual store itself was quite a large store. For a retro gaming shop, that's a decent sized store and it was done really well. You could walk all the way around the sides, around the aisle if you like, around the outside. In the middle there was a nice cabinet, glass cabinet. There was things floor to ceiling. It was done really well. Really good staff there. I don't know if that was the owner that I met there. I didn't catch his name, but I basically looked around the shop like I always do. I make my purchases, then I asked for permission to film and it wasn't too busy. And he was like, yeah, no worries. He's a really nice guy. He was very good, very active. He was there, businessman, people were ringing, he's picking up the phone, he's like, yeah, we got that, let me go check. Really, really good shop. And lots of good stuff. Obviously, I was there purposely just for the Sega Game Gear selection. And I didn't know what Sega Game Gear was going to be there. I thought I'll go around, I'll film a shop tour, and if there's some Game Gear, brilliant, and we can incorporate it into another Sega Game Gear UK tour episode. Episode 3, this one would be. And yeah, straight away, I saw a nice display. He had every game console and generation covered in that shop, from retro to present, even Nintendo Switch. And there were so many loose carts. I was over the moon to see that many. Like, I want to see at least half a dozen carts and I'm happy. You know, you go to CEX the other day and I only saw 2 and I was like, bang, I'll take them. But yeah, there was loads of loose carts there and there were some rarer games there. There was obviously, when I say rarer, ones that collectors are holding on to, so they're not in stock at CEX, or SEX as it is called. So I picked up just one game. So obviously I've got credit at CEX. I don't want to buy anything online. This is sort of the rules of this series. I want to go up and find these out in the flesh, out in the wild. Now there's games which I'm gagging to get hold of, just common games which I remember as a kid. For example, Wonder Boy. I keep seeing it, it's like a penny a dozen. So, and then what's that sort of breakout sort of game when you've got the block Devilish, is it Devilish or something like that? That looks really cool. But again, it's a cheap game. These are under £10. I see them everywhere. So I'm looking for them more bespoke, rarer, collectible titles that I don't come across too often. And I saw a couple there. And I was like, right, I want to get that. That Dracula game's a bit like a Castlevania sort of style game. Not as good by any means, by any stretch. But yeah, that sort of caught my eye. But then I saw one game. And it's not a game I'm particularly fan of the series. I'm going to show it to you. I'll put you out of the misery. I'm going to show you some game footage as well. So it's in the Game Gear because I've been playing it and enjoying it. And this game on some consoles can be expensive. Battletoads. So yeah, Battletoads was there. They were selling it in store for £40. You can see there how much it costs at CEX. So from memory, I think it was something like £25, but it's out of stock. Now, whenever a game's out of stock at CEX, it's a collector's market. You can charge what you want. But generally, from 0 to £50, if it's out of stock, you might as well add a tenner on. From 50 or 100, you could add 20 quid on. And if it's a £100+ game, £150 game, then you could end up paying 30, 40 quid more. It's a collector's market. So when a game goes back in stock at CEX, they tend to put things up by increments of £10, I believe. I don't know. This is speculation. But yeah, I'm not a massive fan of the series itself. Played very little of it. So arcade beat 'em ups I liked, similar to this. I prefer Bucky O'Hare, because I remember the cartoon as a kid. So not much nostalgia for it, which is quite handy sometimes when a game's expensive. Like on a previous episode, I said about Streets of Rage. Loved the first one, loved the second one as a kid. Third one I didn't have, thank God, because it's the most expensive one now. But yeah, I popped it in, and straight away I loved it. I put some footage on the screen so you can see. Really good game, nice different enemies. Yeah, really good. Literally, you sort of all you do is you hit, you punch, does a bit of a combo. When you jump and hit, it will do a kick. The pause button is the pause button on this, so it's just the two buttons. But yeah, you can see from the footage what an absolute gem of a game it is. Really, really fun. So yeah, this one costs £40. But it's out of stock at CEX, so you've got to kind of find it. So out of all the games that's there, even though there was more I wanted, I was like, no, this is the one I want. And I didn't want to spend any more than that because I've been going to shops over the last few days, picking up games left, right and centre. So I didn't want to be spending too much money. And off the back of this visit, we swung into another gaming shop looking for more Game Gear games. And we did get some more pickups, and that'll be on the episode coming in the next few days. So I was like, I'm not rich. We've got to take things slow. So I was like, right, treat myself. It's my birthday. We're going for Battletoads. So yeah, what a game. Let me know, have you played Battletoads on the Game Gear? Have you played any of the other Battletoad games on any of the other systems? Which one is the best? What do you think of this? Is it a port from anything else? Is it its own game? And then from those other Game Gear games there, was there any ones which you would have picked up? Or is there anything, are you local to that store? Super Retro Video Games, is there anything, is it Super Retro Video Games it's called? I've forgotten, I'll pop it up the screen. But all the details, if you do want to visit, and you are local to Sheffield, because that's where this store is, obviously I'll put the address up earlier, I'll put the address back up now, I'll put in the description a link to their website, if you want to check them out, pay them a visit. Really good shop, like all the ones I seem to be visiting lately. I've been very, very, very lucky, so I've been over the moon. But yeah, let me know, is there any shops near you that I need to visit have got healthy Game Gear stock? Even if it's a CEX, guys, please let me know. Hit me up in the comments. I'm going to stop waffling and keep this short and sweet. Get out in the sun and enjoy a beer. I'm Scott from Marathon Gaming. Enjoy this little outro. I'll see you soon. Early access from 11 o'clock, but I got here at 10.
Everything has to be checked and double-checked in this job, including me. If I get hungry between meals, I'm not at my best. Marathon's got what it takes to satisfy me.
Ooh, you know it.
Oh, I need a drink.
Packed with peanuts, Marathon really satisfies.